We're going to work on this boat scene from Portland, Maine. A little warm weather image here I thought might be nice for January. We'll use this image as an opportunity to work on proportioning. So we'll do it in two parts. We'll work on getting the structure of the boat the first week, and then the second week we'll work on details and finishing. Those who don't care to work that way, some people just like to put an idea down quickly and go to finish, and that's fine. But those who wish to do that might try doing two drawings, one the first week and one the second week, maybe including different kinds of details, or finding that the second drawing actually you see more and work on it differently. But for this, at this particular point, I'm going to show a little bit of proportioning skills. And first off, we're going to resist two temptations. One is, as I said, trying to finish too quickly and really focusing on getting the parts of the boat where they belong so that it's believable. And two, we will resist going immediately to that wonderful reflection. Reflections are really fun to do, but they require some important skills and observation, and they don't make any sense if the structure that they're reflecting isn't believable itself. So we will block it in lightly and work on that later. Just as a quick observation, I'm going to turn this upside down. And the first thing, this is a good exercise to do, the first thing I notice is how much darker and indistinct the reflection is. How much darker the water is from the sky, for instance, and how little detail there really is in that reflection. So that's enough to tell me that I want to be really careful and understated when I go in and work on that. But first, we will look at one way to start a drawing like this. And I'm going to just see if I can put that up there and still see it right. I'm going to do an outline here just to give me some kind of parameter. I may change that outline. This may not be exactly proportioned to that shape, but that's okay. And I can always change that boundary as I go along. And the first thing I'm going to put in is the water line, what I'm calling where the water meets the sky. And as you see, it doesn't exactly line up. And that's because the coast here kind of goes in and around, but you can't see that. But just for purposes of simplicity, I'm going to just make it straight. And I'm holding my pencil like this so that I can get an idea of the angle and match that angle. So just guessing, this looks like about 1/3 of the way up. I'll just check that by holding my pencil like this and going like this. And it's a little less than 1/3. So I'm just going to eyeball it and put a mark there. Let's see how close this one is. If that is the edge of the dock there, there's one, there's two. Whoops. I'm leaning over my camera here, so it's a little awkward. 1, 2. That's closer to 1/3. So again, I'll eyeball this, see how close I come to. That's pretty close. And I'm just going to run a line here. I know the boat, I won't see that line in the boat, but that will just help me anchor some of these points. And I'm going to, again, just eyeball the tip of this part of the boat. And again, I'm going to see if I can, this looks like about 1/3 too. That's 1, that's 2, and that's 3. Well, that's kind of lucky. It doesn't always pan out that way. So 1, 2. So Actually, my line needs to be down here a little bit if the boat is going to be a third. And part of this process, this is a great opportunity. We won't call it, we'll resist the urge to say it's wrong. This is an opportunity to see how our perceptions change. When we first look at something, we see it one way. As we continue to work on it, we see different things and we see it in new ways. And can be a very life-giving opportunity. Okay, so that's more where the boat is lying a little bit below the water line there. So I'm okay with that, and I'm going to call that take this out so I don't confuse myself. I'll get so many marks I won't know what I'm doing. And I'm just going to go ahead and put in what I'm calling the bow of the boat. And then this piece comes out. There's probably a technical word for that. I'm not enough of a seaman to know. And then I need to figure out where I'm going to put the end of my boat. And again, I'm going to use some comparative measuring. And it would be strange if it was a third, but let's just check it. If this is, well, it's close, but I think I will be unhappy if I really call it a third. And I'm going rather quickly with this, so I don't take too long with the video. So again, I'm just going to eyeball it. And I'm going to say that the end of my boat is there. Probably needs to come down just a little bit. I don't really know where the water line is there because I can't see it. And I'm just going to get the basic shape in here, and it's sort of a triangle. And within that basic shape, I can begin to work to get the details in. If I'm calling that this point, then I can put in the shape that's within that. So I know that I'm, again, oops, I'll check the angle, which is about like that. So I can come down. And then this, I'm going to check that angle, comes down about this. And now this looks very sketchy, and it is. It's guesswork to some degree. But each time I break down the basic shapes, I have a little more to go by. So now I can go in and I can get the lower deck there. I know it comes, I know there's an angle like that. And it changes ever so slightly as it goes down. So that's the first deck. Then I have another deck along here. And then I have this top deck that actually comes like this. And then down. And now I'm going to get rid of these, what some people call search lines or guidelines, so they don't confuse me. And begin to put in the rest of the boat. So I will go back and forth, making corrections as I go along. As I observe things, I can get rid of this line now, until I continue to refine and refine and refine until it is looking the way I want it to look. Here's one that I did earlier. Took some time. It looks very simple, but it actually took me quite a bit of time to go back and forth, assessing my markings and my measurings, doing the comparative measuring, and my eye. I know when things, usually can tell when things aren't quite right, so I go back and investigate again. And as you notice again, I did this reflection, just very broken lines, because they really are broken and subtle. And when I go back to finish that, which will be after I'm feeling good about the structure of the boat, I'll be very careful to get a muted and soft look to that.